guys, thanks for checking out this video. For this video I've made my way out onto Jersey's east coast, and I'm going to be looking to do a little bit light ledgering for some bass and perhaps some Gilthead bream as well. I've done about 2 or 3 sessions this year for the Giltheads and absolutely no luck at all. Here I am giving it another bash, so hopefully can pick something up today. Got pretty ideal conditions this morning, not too much wind, and if there is any wind it's going to be in the right direction for when I get anchored up. So just motoring my way out there now, trying to get out there as quick as I can really this morning, and then I'm going to be running you through the setups and the bait that I'm going to be using in this session. So guys, the anchor's now down and we're in position, so it's time to run you through some of the tackle that I'm going to be using today. It's the usual light ledgering rod. If you've seen some of my videos before, I like to use the ugly stick boat rod. It's the 8 to 12 pound class, and I fitted that with a Penn Spin Fisher 4500 live liner, so it's like a bait runner. Really handy for this sort of inshore ledgering that I'm going to be doing. Gone for a running ledger rig today, using this boom here with a bead in between the boom and the swivel, tied on the swivel, and then on the other end of the swivel I've got 25 pound fluorocarbon, fairly long trace there, going down to a panel of 2 size 1/0 hooks. I've got a Chinook at the top and a Varavass BMX at the bottom, so hopefully that does alright for a slightly larger bait. I've got exactly the same setup on the other rod, except on this part of the rig, the hooks, I've changed it. I've gone for a size 1 circle at the top and a size 1 Chinook at the bottom. So guys, sometimes there's quite a little bit of weed coming down in this tide. The tide is absolutely racing past me here at the moment, so I sometimes use a grip lead, a small one like a 3-4 ounce grip lead, but also I like these plain pyramid leads. If you're fishing like estuaries for giltheads and bass, these are probably ideal. You can use something flat like that for the estuaries and that. Today I'm probably going to go with a pyramid lead or even the watch leads. They're pretty good as well, but pyramids have done me alright here. They hold quite nicely in the tide as well for their size, so without using a grip lead, which seems to get caught in quite a lot of the weed that's passing down in the tide here, just end up with a massive ball of it on the end of your line. So I'm going to go with these plain sinkers here, going with the pyramid leads. So a nice little purchase I made recently, guys, is this Innova cool bag. Nice little storage for the kayak. I've got my 2 pots of worms in there, I'll explain that in a minute, and a packet of razor clam, so it can fit quite a bit. I took this out the other day and I actually chucked about, I think it was about 15 mackerel in here, so yeah, it stores enough for me out of the kayak. So guys, I've got 2 pots of lug here. One is split worms, so when I've been digging for the lug and some of them have come out and they've blown their stomachs or whatever, they're all damaged. The blood's quite acidic, I think, so if you put it with the good worms it just kills them off. So I keep a pot of good worms that are not split or anything like that, totally fine and alive, and then just this pot here, you can see like there, the guts have absolutely come out of that one. That would kill all the bait off, and these are handy just to have as some extra bait. I usually do with the split worms a couple of wraps with the razor clam, and use the worms that's still good, and just hole on the hook, a bunch of them. But these go well as a little like lugworm wrap with the razor clam. So don't throw these away, keep them separate, but don't throw them away. I think they're really good. So guys, what I like to do then is just bunch a couple of worms, not too many, put them in this little trough here, this little baiting tool that I've got. Usually just chuck a couple in there, lay a bit of razor on top, and then just start wrapping. Some of them might fall out, majority of them though stay inside and they're pretty good. Just to get a couple of wraps on this to hold them all together. A couple there that I can just fold over, wrap some bait elastic round. go. Slide that off, and it's basically just like a lugworm and a razorfish little sausage. Putting it on then, guys, I literally just thread it up the hook like a worm. This sausage of razor and worm. Thread it up the hook like that. Got the hook showing at the bottom, and then just do a couple more wraps of bait elastic. So the initial bit of bait elastic's really just to hold the bait together, and then I use this moment now, use this opportunity to get this nice and tight on the hook if I can. Like that. I'm not casting it too far, literally just lobbing it off the front of the kayak, but you get quite a few crabs here sometimes, so sometimes bait elastic's a good option. And there we go, guys, that is it. Couple of little dangly bits at the bottom, bit of razor, bit of lugworm. Should be the ideal bait today, hopefully. So just gonna get that one lobbed out now. Tide's not too bad, it's running in roughly the right direction today, so we should be all right. Just a little lob off the front of the kayak. It's a little bit bumpy out here today, but it's not actually too bad considering. That wind's in the right direction, so the rods should be fishing fairly okay today. Maybe not at the start of the session, but right, there we go, that one's out. Bait runner's on. Get the other one prepped. Right guys, so these are the worms that are pretty much still alive. So I'm just going to get a couple out like that. That'll do, I think. And I'm going to show you how I bait these up. This is how I do it from the shore as well when I'm fishing for like giltheads or bass. I'll show you this really quick. It's fairly straightforward. So I just get the worm, just thread it up the hook, slide it down the line, same with the next one, slide it up the hook, with guts and all sorts and juices spilling everywhere. And slide it up the line. I'm putting quite a few on here, guys, just to get some scent out there for the first cast. I think, what's that, like 5 or 6 of them on there. So once it's at that stage, guys, bare hook at the bottom, I've just thread it up the line. What I do is I just pinch the top and I just pull them down, and they should end up sliding back over onto that hook, which you can't really see now because it's buried in that bottom bit of worm, which is fine. And just get my circle hook, slide that back down to the top of the worms, compress them slightly, come up with that circle and just do a couple of turns on the line, and then get the circle hook and just press it into the top of the bait and pull the line tight. You can see that just at the top there, hopefully. So there is 2 hooks in that, guys. They're a bit hidden from the worm, but that's probably what I want, because these giltheads and the bass, they'll find them hooks, I'd like to think. The giltheads pluck at the bait quite aggressively, so there's a chance they're going to knock off a couple of worm and in turn find the hook. So yeah, fingers crossed, we'll have to see how it goes. That's the second bait ready. The sun's just going into the clouds there. Looks pretty cool with the rays coming through the clouds. It's going to go a little bit dark in a minute, I think. Little bit of a bump out here today, but not too bad. Nice little bit of tide moving through. Fishing in 21 foot of water. Quite a bit of weed coming down at the tide, I think, there. Oh, really good bite there, guys. We've got sight on this. Yeah, we got sight on this, guys. This one took off. I don't know what it was. Don't know if it's big. Little Gilthead. Oh, that's a good sign. That one just came out of nowhere, that. Is it a Gilthead? No, it's a little black bream. Little black bream there, guys. I think I had my bait runner on a little bit light, but yeah, first one of the session. Nice little black bream. Got a bite on this one, guys, just while I'm baiting the other one up, so really. Don't think it's particularly big fish. There's a bit of weed on there as well, I think. Probably a little black bream. Yeah, a little black bream. These can be a bit of a nightmare down here later on in the year. That's why I usually try and target the bass and the giltheads a little bit earlier. When it gets to summer, these guys are just absolutely everywhere. There we go, little black bream. Gonna chuck him back. The other one out, which is baited. This one here is already baited, so I'll get this one out quick. So when I'm out here targeting the bass and the gilthead bream, the black bream can be an absolute nightmare. They're like little piranhas. They'll just come along, strip the bait, and you don't really get them that big out here, but they're just so annoying. Because when they're in, they're usually in, and it's usually around this time of year that they're here. But I think they're just as bad as crabs. They get the bait before the giltheads do. This bite looks a little bit more promising on this rod here. What I'm hoping for is either the rod to just arch straight over and start stripping line, or really aggressive bouncers. At the moment I'm getting the little vibrating taps with the odd twitch down on the rod tip, which is usually a black bream. Like this one here is black, pretty short. Little black bream's going to come up, I think. I'll be gobsmacked if it's a gilthead. No, little black bream. This is what it's going to be, guys, I think, pretty much. Hopefully not, but just black bream like that. Ideal for bait. Ideal size for bait, so I can actually put him in my storage bag here. Yeah, may as well get rid of a few of them that are down there and get some pot bait and some offshore fishing bait sorted at the same time, I guess. Right, this one's ready to go out. Don't think he's on. It's a little black bream plucking away. That one needs a bait change. More than likely when I'm baiting this one up, this one's going to go. Seems to be the way things roll at the moment. I knew it. Oh, that was a good bite. Missed him. Strip the bait as well. Get a couple more baits ready. Prepped. Another black bream on here, guys. Smaller one than before. On the circle, that one. Tiny. It's gone a little bit dark now, guys. That big cloud's pretty much over us. Just down to fishing the one rod. There must be tons of black bream down there. I'm running out of bait really quickly. I've definitely missed more bites than I've landed fish. I think I've had about 5 or 6 black bream. Chucked a couple of smaller ones away. Kept some of the ones that will do well for the pots and the offshore fishing. And yeah, now I seem to be surrounded by black skies of these clouds. Another bite here, guys. Black bream, I think. Yeah, small black bream. This one's too small, I think, so he's going to go back. There's tons of them down there. Absolutely tons of them. I'm running out of bait fast and it's easier to actually fish one rod. I've had so many small ones today. Usually when I'm fishing out here, guys, and the fishing's pretty good, you're usually checking your baits every like 5-10 minutes, but at the moment I'm doing it every like minute, 2 minutes. There's just so many black bream out there. That weather's turning a bit nasty now as well. See how long until I got a bite. I got a bite already. Absolutely mental. Again, another small black bream. Absolute nightmare. So guys, that's what's plaguing the baits. Loads of little black bream like this. It's good fun on the light gear, but it's not what I'm after. Shot, overcast day. Probably made the wrong decision to come out here, but we got a bite already, guys. Probably probably what, been about a minute and a half. Another small black bream. This is literally what it's been today. Go a free worm. Treat myself to a third one. It's going to last about 10 seconds for each worm, I reckon. On the bottom. Yeah, there we go. Getting bites already. Felt a bit better, that. Probably a small fish, but I don't know actually. Felt a bit better. Oh, this is a bit better, I think. Don't know what this is. It's swimming up tide. Be a little hound there. Could be a little smooth hound. What is it? Oh, it's a bass. It's not a bad one either. It's not a bad one. Hey! Alright, I'll get him up and we'll have a quick look at him. Well, there you go, guys. Nice way to finish off the session. Pretty much on the last bit of worm there. Nice little surprise bass. I was wondering why I wouldn't get any of these today, and then black bream, they weren't holding out. So yeah, perfect eating size bass that, but he's going to go back because he was lip hooked, and he's in really good condition. So he's got his fin poked up, ready to rock and roll, so he's going back. Well guys, that bass has gone back now. He went back strong, and yeah, nice way to finish off the video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed the video, then hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. That would be much appreciated. Until the next video, until the next trip out on the kayak, tight lines, safe paddling. I'll catch you in the next one.